A British athlete named Steve Backley, a bronze medalist in javelin throw at the 1992 Barcelona Olympic Games, sprained his ankle just before the 1996 Atlanta Games. He was on crutches for weeks, and so he trained himself by imagining the perfect throw in his mind over and over again. He won silver that year. The subconscious mind, according to Sigmund Freud, acts as a repository to our feelings, thoughts, urges, and memories that reside outside of our conscious awareness. Just like an iceberg, the most important part of our mind is the part that you cannot see. Our feelings, motives, and decisions are powerfully influenced by our past experiences stored in the subconscious. All mental functions, from the most trivial reflex of the limbs to the most complex and creative experiences, come from the brain. Research shows that there are some aspects of free will we are not always consciously aware of. This doesn't necessarily mean that free will is an illusion, but that there are many behaviors and decisions we take in our day-to-day lives without being consciously aware of them. Consider the simple act of flexing your wrist. When you flex your wrist, you presumably have a conscious thought in your brain which then causes your wrist to flex. But Benjamin Lubetz's experiment in the 1980s would tell otherwise, revealing something very interesting about our subconscious. Libet in his lab wired up subjects to an EEG machine measuring brain activity via electrodes. He asked them to simply move their hand randomly during the experiment. He also asked his subjects to note the time at which they made a conscious decision to move their hands. What he found was that there was brain activity initiating the hand movement milliseconds before the conscious decision was reported. In other words, his experiment seemed to show that the conscious decision did not cause the movement. The brain activity bringing about the movement started before the individual even had the thought of moving their hand. Everything that goes in our day-to-day life, our perception, our thoughts, our beliefs, all of these are a function of massive lightning storms of electrical signals in our brains, of which we don't have any awareness. What we learn from studying our brain circuits is that most of what we do and think and feel is not under our conscious control. The vast array of neurons operate in their own programs. The conscious you that resumes to life when you wake up in the morning is actually the smallest part of what's going on in your brain. Although we are dependent on the functioning of the brain for our inner lives, it runs its own show. Take for example the part of the brain responsible for our emotional memory, the amygdala. The amygdala gets direct sensory information which it learns and stores on its own, and that information that's stored then controls emotional responses without any awareness or consciousness. This connectivity is hardwired through millions of years of evolution to strengthen our basic survival instinct. Just like a rat will respond to a cat without any learning by freezing or raising its blood pressure and increasing its heart rate by releasing stress hormones. So it is learning in memory, which is also known as implicit memory, where you do not have to have any conscious involvement. Things that have strong emotions associated with them, good and bad, are likely to be the things that allow a species to not only stay alive, but also thrive in its environment. In the case of the rat, being afraid of the cat is the subconscious phenomenon. We can think of the brain as a corporation with different parts of the brain working in synchronization, just like different employees of a corporation work in tandem to maintain proper functioning. If we consider this analogy, then our consciousness, or the part of the brain that is our consciousness, will be the CEO supervising all the inner workings. The other parts of the brain, like the rest of the employees in a corporation, might not have equal influence, but they too are involved in important tasks and decision-making that affect the organization as a whole. Blindsight is a phenomenon in which patients with the damage in primary visual cortex, which is responsible for vision of the brain, can tell where an object is, although they claim that they cannot see it. So, how does blindsight work? Scientists now provide compelling evidence that blindsight occurs because visual information is conveyed bypassing the primary visual cortex. For people with blindsight, the area responsible for visual processing is damaged and cannot properly read the information. So the information never makes it to the conscious awareness. But the information is still processed by other areas of the visual system that are still intact, enabling people with blindsight to carry out tasks like a sighted person. Sigmund Freud in the 19th century put forth a revolutionary theory that provided a new understanding to the human subconscious. According to Freud, dreams are a window into our subconscious, and they reveal a person's inner desire and their unresolved, repressed wishes. Freud also said that we are in a constant battle with our egos and our desires. To know more about dreams, watch our recent video where we explore the hidden meaning behind dreams and how they connect us to our subconscious memories. The study of magic or visual illusion reveals a lot about our subconscious mind. Magicians are masters of exploiting nuances of human perception, attention, and awareness. Magic is about what's happening inside the head. It's about how we can manipulate the attention of the person by taking advantage of the subconscious mind. When a magician performs a sleight of hand trick to make a coin disappear in one place and mysteriously appear in another, the trick works because our conscious brain makes a false assumption about his hand. For example, the magician could easily make you think that the coin is moving from place to place simply by distracting your attention. By inviting your conscious brain to focus on one particular area, the magician can quickly make changes in another, giving the appearance of something magical transpiring. What you experience during the magic trick is a series of electrical signals going around a bunch of circuits in your brain. Because there are no windows in your skull, the only way you can get information into your brain is through your 5 senses. In this case, only the visual information that informs the brain. Your brain draws on past memories and then uses reasoning to fill in the details, forming a simulation of reality. If you guys are new to the channel, then I do encourage you to smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications to never miss a single video on our channel, as well as giving this video a big thumbs up by slapping that like button below. We make content on a wide range of subjects, and you can even suggest us the topics you want us to cover in the comment section below.